Today we're going to be baking red velvet cupcakes based on the recipe by Nigella Lawson, but with a spooky twist as inspired by Dan and Phil's Halloween video of 2014. Let's do this. First of all, you need to have your secondary bowl. This isn't your main bowl, this is your secondary bowl, and you need to sieve some baking powder, some plain flour and some cocoa into it if you want them to be chocolate flavoured. If you don't, then there's no hope for you. Sieve, yes, not your main bowl, your secondary bowl. It's made very clear. Right, so baking powder, you need, let's find out, you need 1 tablespoon, no, you need 1 teaspoon of baking powder if you want to follow my recipe. It's not mine. Morphed Nigella. Right, 1 teaspoon. I don't know if it's heaped or if it's level. We're gonna go for kind of a bit of both. That's definitely heaped, isn't it really? Hang on. I've got things that measure this. Don't use a teaspoon. When you're asked to measure a teaspoon, don't actually use a teaspoon. Half a teaspoon, I'll put 2 of these in. There's not much of people actually talking about how they're making things in Bake Off. They're just going, oh no, I've dropped my cake on the floor. So this isn't an instructional video, this is a watch how I fail video. I can't believe I'm measuring this so intently, but I am. It's Halloween, so it's fine if everyone dies. I mean, preferably not, but at least it will be festively accurate. Right, plain flour, 125 grams. Right, can you see what I'm doing? You probably can't, can you? Life is happening right now, life is happening. Right, tertiary bowl. I'm 2 grams over. How cool is this? This is what happens when you sieve something in exactly the same position. It makes a floury lemon squeezer. That's what it looks like. Oh. Right, well, yeah, once you cleared the mess up, which will probably happen, otherwise you're not baking properly. So I have sieved 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder in here, 125 grams of flour, and how much baking powder is it? 1 teaspoon. 1 teaspoon of baking powder. So that's in your secondary bowl now. Just make sure there isn't any on the rim. It's going to make a mess. 100 grams of caster sugar. Yeah. This can go in the bin if you have one. I do, because I'm rich. Don't worry if you mix brands, it just means you have a more multicultural selection of cakes. So that's 100 grams of caster sugar. That can go straight in your mixing bowl. 50 grams of butter, unsalted, from wonderful companies. So the reason I'm making these cakes is A, because I love cake, and B, because myself and the previously mentioned YouTuber Definitely Carrie are going to see Dan and Phil on tour tomorrow on the 31st of October. And we thought, oh, what better way to celebrate their Halloween showing? Crikey. What better way to celebrate their Halloween showing than to make their own cupcakes that they did for Halloween last year? And we're going to hand them over to them and hopefully they'll eat them. If not, I don't blame you guys, don't worry about it. But I reckon they'll be alright. I reckon these are going to be good. So this recipe makes 12 cakes if you do it right, but you might be 1 or 2 above or below. Yes! Sorry. And you put that into the mixing bowl. Get off of the knife. That's not a sentence you hear every day, is it? Get off of the knife. Right, now can we bear in mind that I am extremely cat-handed? And this is because when I was 8, I broke my arm, and it's kind of still a bit odd. And it always will be. Sorry if you're squeamish. I should have added a warning there. Maybe I will. Maybe I already have, and I just don't know it. Why do you think they chose to call the cupcakes red velvet? I mean, why that particular material? Was it because it's soft like velvet in the mouth? Probably is, actually. I've just answered my own question. I was aiming for that to be like a really interesting curiosity time with Imogen. Post your opinions in the comments below and enter our Twitter poll. But no, I've answered my own question. Polyjuice cupcake. I've noticed that there's like this massive orb of light behind me. It's kind of making this baking video look much more dramatic than it actually is. I don't even want to call it a baking video because it's not. It's just a, hey, come and watch me bake kind of video. If I could, I would have hired Mel and Sue from the old baking programme that's on BBC One every year that gets the most viewers of any other cooking programme. We all know what it's called. I just don't know if I'm allowed to say it because of branding rights, you know? Have you noticed that some TV shows never ever say the name of that dancing programme on BBC One either? They just call it that dancing programme. You need to add in your vanilla and the gel, the food colouring. Jesus. One spoon of vanilla essence. I've written 1 spoon of vanilla essence. That's rather vague, isn't it? Oh well. I reckon it's tablespoon. No. I reckon it's teaspoon. And if it's not, oh well. I'll be fine. Oh, hello, spoon. Oh, 2 halves of tablespoon. I'm going to use half because I'm going to make 12. This is turning into a baking video and I don't even... Oh wow. Okay. Right. This is not a baking video. Don't trust anything I say. I've done something wrong here. Something isn't right. I just don't know what. Now going to add half of the secondary bowl to the mixture. Then you need an egg. Pick the biggest one you've got, just because it will add moisture and stuff to your cake. And then you need to crack the egg. And as my mum always says, a positive crack means that, oh wow, that sounds really wrong, doesn't it? If you tap the egg jollily on the side of the bowl, the whole release of the inside of the egg will not contain eggshells. Just went for it there, didn't I? Blimey. Action replay, I think that calls for. You can put that in your tertiary bowl and I'm feeling like I've done something wrong here. And the reason you've only added half of the bowl, I think, is just so that you can get it mixed in with the egg, and the egg doesn't like go, oh, this is too dry for me. And it has a chance to kind of populate everything with the yolk. Second half, chuck it all in. You kind of made like a... See, this is why I didn't want to use a whisk. This might end up being a swampy brown. Your household. I'm using 90 millilitres of milk. So just pour that in. It also says use some cider vinegar. I'm not going to use vinegar instead. I'm just not going to use any. Really go for it. Stirring. Oh yeah, it's amazing. Oh, that looks so good. Oh dear. How long does it take me to open the cupcake holder box? Oh, there was a tab you could put. Wow. Not that long. For this bit. This is the handiest bit. Just so that you can wipe it in to the thing. Make sure you don't waste any. Imogen deals with cake. Cake encounters of the sugary kind. You have to bake your cakes for 20 minutes. I'm doing them for 21 just to be safe, and it's my birthday. Not today. 21 is the date of my birthday. So that's how long I'm doing mine for. And now to clear up the mess. Because the scissors aren't manufactured for left-handed people. What's the problem? It just wouldn't squeeze out because I can't cut it with scissors because I'm left-handed. Oh, so the cut.